Greetings. All this is Malik Asad Jafar, and today we're going to be going over the difference between caretaking and caregiving. Let's get into
it. I'm the best, so do not test the top of my profession, the master of my chosen field. Of that there is no question. Serious.
All right. Well. Yeah, I had to pull over. Traffic got really thick at this time in the evening, so I just wanted to share this real quick. We had people that were we were having a group, and they were discussing discussing codependency, and I didn't catch on to what they were saying at first, but they were basically saying, is there ever an appropriate time or place to have a codependent dynamic? And I said, well, the word codependency implies something not necessarily good for that person in particular. So I'm not following. I don't think so. And they were like, well, no, well, then you've got this, and you've got people who do these things and that are, and they help them out when they first get out of prison. And you have people who are trying to, they want to live a right life, and then they don't bring certain influences around them. And isn't that kind of like codependency? And I was like, no, that's not codependency. What that actually is and I told them, I said, is the difference between caretaking and caregiving. And so to understand caretaking versus caregiving, if you ever hear this word, it's really simplistic. Caretaking is just that. It is taking responsibility that someone else could do or the things that they could do for themselves, which is, of course, a form of codependency. It is taking responsibility, and that doesn't mean that they are doing it lovingly and willingly and wantingly, if that's a word. What it is that it is a person doing it. And they may fuss and complain and give them all kinds of issues after the fact, but yet they keep doing the same thing over and over again. It kind of empowers them. It makes them feel like there's something special or strong or whatever the case is. And that person might even know it. And so there's all these different elements of caretaking that ends up taking place. Bottom line, caretaking is not healthy. Caretaking makes the person who's sick sicker. And it makes the person who probably wasn't sick before sick. And it creates a habit within, and they put themselves in a position to begin to establish this type of lifestyle in other relationships. Very problematic. Now, caregiving is just that. It is giving of a person's time. Caregiving is a support system. Okay, so caregiving is when a person does something for someone else that they are not able to do for themselves at the time. Let's say giving them a place to stay after just getting out of prison, or house burned down, or break up in a relationship, and you name it. There's all kinds of different dynamics. House is getting renovated, whatever you want to call it. But there's all kinds of reasons as to why a person could step in and say, "Hey, man, let me help you out." Or whatever the case might be. Giving a person a job, even though they may not like the job in particular, or it may not be fill in the blank. It may not even be their profession. It may not be their, it may be in regards to skill set. It may not be up to their skill set. I've seen people who've been in a position to where they will get a job that they know they should not have been working. They didn't deserve it. And then this person allows them to, because they're family or because they're indebted or just because they're a good person or whatever the case is, they give them this job and give them this support to help them get back on their feet. And these people who do this, yes, it's a fine line between caregiving and caretaking, because it comes a point when you have a caregiver who does these things that allows an individual to get up on their feet. But if they continue to do this, and this person has been in a position to be empowered and be able to do things for themselves, and yet they keep relying on them, then you might have a codependent relationship. Let's say, for example, you've got the individual who's giving the job, I don't know. I was going to throw something out there and say like they're attention hound. They just always have to have somebody around. And then this other individual over here, they need a place to stay, and they're making money, and they're making quite a bit of money. They're making enough money to be able to do what they need to do for themselves and by themselves, but yet they stay there. And then the other person knows that the relationship is such that I'm going to help them out. I'm still helping them out. They haven't just got on their feet yet. Wouldn't you like to have someone help you out like that, while all along they just have someone there so someone can drink with them? Or they have someone there because they, like the way this individual shoots the shit. Or they just fill in the blank. But in any event, they enable this individual. This individual figures it out, reaps the benefits of that, and then it becomes a very sick and potentially twisted relationship. Whereas, anything can happen in regards to leverage and you name it. So, with that said, yes, there are good people out there. Yes, there are people out there that can help other individuals when they're in a time of need, when there's a time where they can't do things for themselves by themselves. And then there are times where people will take advantage of a situation and use someone else and play the poor me game and take it, reap the benefits of whatever a person puts out there, and they know it. Not to by any means to call the kindness of a person a sucker, but, suckers born every minute or whatever the case is. There are people who they're hounds, borderline, if not full, emotional vampires. But I digress with all of that because we've done a video on that one there. So in any event, just wanted to kind of put that out there for those that are assisting and helping people, and they hear about this new topic called codependency, and they're wondering whether or not what they're doing is unhealthy. You've got codependency and you've got a support system. Okay? You've got caretaking and you've got caregiving. Know how to decipher when a person is able to fly out of the nest and do what needs to be done for themselves, and also recognize the circumstances that they're in as well. With that said, be blessed, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Bam.
I'm the best, so do not test the top of my profession, the master of my chosen field, of that there is no question.